I pulled up to my in-laws' place 2 hours sooner than anticipated on Christmas Eve. What I overheard drifting out from the kitchen window shattered more than a decade of marriage in under a minute. My name is Ryan Mitchell. This is the account of how my wife's holiday revelation sparked the most ruthless payback I could never have predicted. Snow blanketed everything that December night. The trip from my workplace to the Henderson residence dragged on longer than normal. I'd wrapped up my end-of-quarter paperwork ahead of schedule, and my supervisor had surprisingly extended the deadline. 3 extra hours before the traditional Henderson family gathering. 3 hours I chose to use surprising my wife, Sophia. Rather than getting stuck in festive gridlock, their home resembled something straight out of a holiday film. Twinkling white lights draped every pillar. Garlands adorned each pane. A towering evergreen dominated the living room bay window, the one Sophia's mom, Evelyn, always claimed for her personal touch every season. Laughter and carols floated through the air as I parked curbside, leaving the drive open for arriving visitors. I picked up the bottle of premium wine I'd selected, the sort Evelyn would feign enthusiasm for while quietly preferring something simpler. I made my way toward the entrance. That's when Sophia's words sliced through the cheerful noise, sharp and unmistakable. From the slightly ajar kitchen window. "I'm 3 weeks along with my supervisor's child," she declared. My legs nearly buckled. Flakes gathered on my coat. The wine bottle felt impossibly heavy in my grip. Evelyn responded, thrilled and secretive. "Oh, sweetheart, that's fantastic. Victor's an outstanding guy. So accomplished. Far superior to Ryan in every way." Sophia chuckled, the same laugh I'd once cherished. Now it grated like metal scraping glass. "Victor earns more in incentives than Ryan does annually. He has real drive. He's headed for big things. Ryan's been trapped in the same role at that firm for 8 years, crunching the same dull spreadsheets. I never quite got what drew you to him in the first place." My fingers trembled, not from the chill, but from fury surging upward like fire in my veins. 11 years married? 13 together? And here she was, in her mother's kitchen on Christmas Eve, discussing infidelity and impending parenthood like casual small talk. "When do you plan to break it to Ryan?" Evelyn inquired. "Once the festivities end," Sophia replied. "I'll start divorce proceedings in January. Victor and I have everything mapped out. I'll claim the house, naturally. Ryan won't push back. He never stands up for anything." I retreated from the window step by cautious step, as though fleeing a fresh crime scene. In truth, that's exactly what it was, the crime against our union. The assassination of every truth I'd held dear. I returned to my vehicle, placed the costly wine on the seat beside me. No tears came. No shouts. No theatrical outbursts like in films. I turned the key, pulled out my cell phone, and dialed 3 numbers that altered the course of everything. The first was to my attorney, Michael Harlan. We'd been roommates in university, and he owed me one from way back. "Ryan, happy holidays," he greeted casually. I recounted the overheard exchange. His easy manner evaporated instantly. Michael assured me the dissolution documents could be prepared for filing the moment courts reopened, December 27th. He vowed they'd be set before then. If this tale resonates with you, consider subscribing and dropping a comment about a moment that flipped your world upside down. Don't skip liking the video either. Your engagement lets me keep sharing narratives like this. The second call went to my elder brother, Lucas, a seasoned private investigator who'd cut his teeth on corporate misconduct before shifting to personal matters. I required proof. "Lucas, I need solid documentation, images, records, the works." He let out. Low whistle upon hearing the other man's identity. Victor Langford, Senior Director of Operations at Apex Innovations. "Victor Langford," Lucas repeated. I recognized that one. Married, 2 kids, golf club crowd. He's faced HR scrutiny twice for improper conduct with staff, both hushed up. Rumors swirl about him siphoning funds too. 48 hours, he promised. I'll dig up enough to sink him. The third call was to Sophia. I kept my voice steady. Still tied up at work with figures, running late by a couple hours. Go on without me. She didn't seem bothered. I headed to Lucas's apartment instead of our place. He already had screens glowing, digging into Victor Langford's background. The guy had a history of extramarital involvements, secret payoffs, and more troubling, questionable transactions in corporate ledgers. Lucas reached out to contacts, chased trails. By midday Christmas, He handed me a thick binder. Financial records. Recovered internal emails. Motel charges. Pictures of Sophia and Victor at secluded spots and upscale outings. Messages where she referred to him affectionately in ways that twisted the knife deeper. It wasn't casual. It had stretched on for 8 months. Your wife's been his side piece that long, Lucas stated plainly. He's routing cash to hidden accounts overseas. Rough tally, close to 2 million. I flipped through every damning detail, each page another wound. Then Lucas grinned, that grin signaling he'd uncovered real leverage. What's our strategy? He asked. We take them apart. Through proper channels, thoroughly, I answered. Phase 1. Reach out to Victor's wife, Lauren. Lucas already had her details. I phoned her that evening. Kids' voices echoed in the background. When I explained, the joy vanished. She stayed composed, cool-headed. We aligned plans. She had her investigator too, and craved concrete evidence. I could supply it all. Phase 2. Submit the divorce filing. Michael had everything prepped by the 27th. We arranged. Service right at an Apex Innovations team session, with Victor seated nearby. The server strode in, announced Sophia's name, and delivered the packet amid 15 coworkers. Color drained from her face. Alarm flickered across Victor's features. Workplace rumors spread like wildfire. A spark ignited. Phase 3 unfolded even smoother. As Sophia received the papers, federal agents approached Victor in the lot with an arrest warrant. Lucas's forensic accounting ally had been feeding info into an ongoing investigation into business fraud. Victor's misappropriations linked to a larger scheme. They cuffed him on the spot. I viewed the snapshot Lucas forwarded. Sophia at the window upstairs, tears carving paths through makeup, gripping the documents while agents recited rights to Victor. Phase 4 targeted Evelyn. She'd belittled me, encouraged her daughter's scheme, plotted my downfall. Image mattered most to her. I ensured her pastor, her reading group, and local committees got anonymous copies of that Christmas Eve dialogue. In under 2 days, Evelyn stepped down from a pair of positions. Her social circle fractured. The minister arranged mandatory guidance sessions everyone recognized as fallout. Sophia rang once post-service. I let it hit voicemail. Ryan, please, let's discuss this. It's all a mix-up. I erased it. She appeared at my short-term apartment. I summoned law enforcement. They removed her with a formal warning against trespassing. I cut off communication. 3 weeks on, I sat in Michael's office finalizing terms. Sophia's lawyer pushed for the residence, support payments, and retirement share. Michael dismantled it swiftly. The infidelity provision in your premarital agreement holds firm, he noted. She walks with only her own items and whatever's solely in her name. House remains yours. No support. No retirement claim. I signed. 11 years dissolved with ink. For weeks post-holiday, Lauren initiated her split from Victor. She synced efforts with Lucas. Victor's finances locked during proceedings. His name tarnished beyond repair. Sophia lost her position at Apex Innovations. Leadership deemed her presence damaging after the uproar. Industry whispers ensured few doors opened for someone tied to an embezzling executive scandal. Evelyn relinquished church committee roles. Her spouse, Harold, sought separation 6 weeks later. The entire structure crumbled. Everyone faced consequences. Months afterward, I crossed paths with Lauren at a cafe. She smiled, offered to cover my drink, and shared she'd claimed nearly everything from Victor: custody, property, vehicles. If you hadn't reached out that Christmas, she said, I might still be trapped in deception. We conversed for an hour. She was sharp, candid about her own missteps. She passed me her contact. If you'd like another coffee sometime, she added, just as survivors of the same storm. I accepted it, though I wasn't prepared yet. Perhaps eventually. 6 months after that Christmas, Sophia welcomed her child. She shared idealized snapshots online. Behind the scenes, Lucas's network reported her in modest quarters, employed in basic retail, scraping by financially. Victor awaited judgment in federal custody. 8 months post-holiday, the divorce concluded officially. I marked it with Lucas at the venue where Sophia and I had accepted our engagement proposal years prior. I treated him as thanks. You executed this flawlessly, he remarked. Most guys would have stormed in, blown it emotionally. You remained composed, built the case, and dismantled methodically. I learned from the top, I replied, raising my glass. Payback, Lucas observed, is most effective when delivered chilled and lawfully. 1 year later, Victor's case wrapped. 18 years federal time, plus massive repayment ordered. He was broke. Lauren mentioned feeling unburdened. Her kids could heal without his shadow. Time moved forward. Lauren and I kept in touch. Slowly, camaraderie. Lucas. Victor's finances locked during proceedings. His name tarnished beyond repair. Sophia lost her position at Apex Innovations. Leadership deemed her presence damaging after the uproar. Industry whispers ensured few doors opened for someone tied to an embezzling executive scandal. Evelyn relinquished church committee roles. Her spouse, Harold, sought separation 6 weeks later. The entire structure crumbled. Everyone faced consequences. Months afterward, I crossed paths with Lauren at a cafe. She smiled, offered to cover my drink, and shared she'd claimed nearly everything from Victor: custody, property, vehicles. If you hadn't reached out that Christmas, she said, I might still be trapped in deception. We conversed for an hour. She was sharp, candid about her own missteps. She passed me her contact. If you'd like another coffee sometime, she added, just as survivors of the same storm. I accepted it, though I wasn't prepared yet. Perhaps eventually. 6 months after that Christmas, Sophia welcomed her child. She shared idealized snapshots online. Behind the scenes, Lucas's network reported her in modest quarters, employed in basic retail, scraping by financially. Victor awaited judgment in federal custody. 8 months post-holiday, the divorce concluded officially. I marked it with Lucas at the venue where Sophia and I had accepted our engagement proposal years prior. I treated him as thanks. You executed this flawlessly, he remarked. Most guys would have stormed in, blown it emotionally. You remained composed, built the case, and dismantled methodically. I learned from the top, I replied, raising my glass. Payback, Lucas observed, is most effective when delivered chilled and lawfully. 1 year later, Victor's case wrapped. 18 years federal time, plus massive repayment ordered. He was broke. Lauren mentioned feeling unburdened. Her kids could heal without his shadow. Time moved forward. Lauren and I kept in touch. Slowly, camaraderie deepened into more. 2 years after that fateful Christmas, we exchanged vows in an intimate gathering with loved ones. Lucas stood as best man. Lauren's children participated. It felt genuine, straightforward, and right. Sophia reached out once, requesting a meeting. I discarded the message. Evelyn mailed a congratulatory note. I tossed it. Victor stayed incarcerated. I had discovered true peace, not the forced version I'd once accepted, but authentic fulfillment rooted in loyalty and openness. The greatest form of retribution, I realized, isn't tearing down those who wounded you. It's constructing something so solid with someone so genuine that yesterday fades to nothing. If this narrative struck a chord, please like the video and share in the comments about betrayal and healing. Subscribe for additional real accounts of regular folks navigating immense hardships, because we all face that instant when existence fractures. The real question becomes, what do you create from the fragments?